Christopher Nolan just spent $250 million to adapt a poem that's almost 3,000 years old. Sounds insane, right? But after watching the Odyssey, I get it. This isn't just another epic, it's Nolan doing something he's never done before. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly whether it's worth your time and your money. Let's talk about the Odyssey. Based on Homer's ancient epic, the film follows Odysseus, played by Matt Damon, as he tries to make his way home after the Trojan War. Standing in his way, gods, monsters, temptation, and his own pride. Nolan wrote and directed this one himself, and he's brought along a massive cast: Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Robert Pattinson, Lupita Nyong'o, and Charlize Theron. It was shot on brand new IMAX film technology, and it hits theaters July 17th, 2026. No spoilers yet, just the setup. Nolan doesn't play this like a typical fantasy blockbuster. He treats the myth almost like it's real history, grounded, tactile, occasionally brutal. There's a framing device early on with a storyteller in a banquet hall, which sets up the film's real theme: how stories get told, retold, and twisted, and what that does to the people living inside them. It moves between the Trojan War and Odysseus's journey home, so you're not getting a straight A to B adventure. It's more layered than that, and it rewards people who are paying attention. Matt Damon carries this film. Odysseus isn't a flawless hero. He's clever, arrogant, and sometimes his own worst enemy, and Damon plays every side of that. The supporting cast is stacked, and nobody feels wasted. Zendaya and Tom Holland share the screen for the first time in a non-superhero role, and that alone is worth the ticket for a lot of fans. Anne Hathaway brings a quiet steadiness to her role that grounds the film whenever it threatens to get lost in scale. Robert Pattinson, meanwhile, goes in a completely different direction, a much darker, stranger register than we're used to seeing from him, and it pays off. This is Nolan doing something new. He's known for grounded, precise filmmaking, not gods and monsters. But instead of forcing his usual style onto the material, he adapts it. The mythology feels real here, not cartoonish. There's a confidence in how he handles scale. He's not afraid to let a scene breathe or let silence do the work. Is it still recognizably a Nolan film? Yes. But it's him stretching in a direction we haven't seen before. Shot on IMAX film, and it shows. The scale is enormous: practical sets, real locations, and effects that support the story instead of drowning it. There's at least one sequence involving transformation and body horror that is genuinely unsettling in the best way. It doesn't rely on CGI spectacle, it relies on discomfort. If you've got access to an IMAX screen, this is the one to see there. Ludwig Göransson's score leans into actual Greek instrumentation, which gives the film a texture a lot of modern epics skip entirely. And in a genuinely unexpected move, Travis Scott co-wrote and performs the closing credits track. It shouldn't work on paper, it works. So what's actually working here? A lot. This is a genuinely fresh take on a story that's been adapted a dozen times before. Nolan found an angle nobody else has really tried. The performances are stacked and committed across the board, not a single weak link in that cast. Visually, it's one of the most ambitious films you'll see this year. The score actually adds meaning instead of just filling space in the background. And underneath all of it, there's real depth. The film has something to say about storytelling itself, which gives it more weight than your typical action epic. Now, it's not perfect. The framing device and the time-jumping structure aren't going to work for everyone. If you're looking for a simple, linear adventure, this might frustrate you. At nearly 3 hours, the pacing does dip in the middle stretch. And some early reviews have pointed out that the ambition occasionally outruns the execution, which honestly is a fair criticism. The Odyssey isn't a safe blockbuster. It's Nolan taking a genuine swing at material that's been sitting in the public domain for thousands of years, and mostly he connects. It's not flawless, the structure demands patience, but it's easily one of the most ambitious films you'll see in a theater this year. My overall rating is 8 out of 10. If you're a Nolan fan, this is an easy watch on the biggest screen you can find. If you love myth and legend done seriously instead of campy, same answer. If you want a fast, simple action epic, you might want to adjust expectations going in. Which Nolan film is the Odyssey closest to in style? Does it deserve a spot in his top 5? Drop your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this review, subscribe for more. See you next time.